Hello again, it's Mr. RG Stuff here. Now a few videos back I talked about some recent 78 finds, as I was lucky enough to go to a few shops and actually find some. And I was also very lucky a few days ago to go to a large car boot sale and actually find not one, not two, but 3 gramophones, of which I bought. That's definitely the most I've ever bought in one day. So this is going to be recent gramophone finds. And I'm going to do them in possibly the order of most interest. I'm certainly going to leave the best one till last. Now first up on the table is this one, which I think is probably a HMV 101. Now these are fairly plentiful in the UK, and they obviously sold a lot. Not quite as desirable as the later 102, but still a pretty good gramophone. So let's have a little look inside. I've had a little look at these gramophones, but not like a really proper look. So for instance, I don't actually know if the spring on this one works. So there we are. The interior condition is not too bad. It's definitely missing a few bits and pieces. It's missing the sort of the winding plate here, and it's missing also a little plate on the outside. It does have quite a nice number 4 sound box, and it's actually quite worn, so it's quite clear by looking at the back that that's a brass one. It's missing its winding screw as well, sorry, the needle screw as well there. Now when it was sold to me, it was sold without a winding handle because the dealer thought somebody had stolen it that very day, but it was actually tucked in under here. It obviously fallen down the back, somebody had moved it. So I didn't find it initially, but a bit later I did actually find it. Now the condition's not brilliant. It's all tune up on the side here, so this may turn into parts, or just generally may not look a whole lot like it's supposed to by the time I'm finished with it. But I thought it was just too good to leave. It wasn't stupidly expensive. Certainly it's worth it for the sound box, and hopefully the motor works. So not had a lot of luck actually getting this crank in, but let's give it a go on camera, see if we can get that to wind in. No, for some reason it's just not winding in. Well, I don't think it's in properly. Certainly there's no indication that anything's happening with the motor. So no, it's not winding in. The thread looks pretty chewed up actually, so that may well indicate why it's in the condition it's in, and the fact that it is missing the plate there, and also the little plate inside, may also indicate, just down there, may also indicate that the motor is actually bust. So that'll be disappointing, but I still think it was worth picking up. Well, next on the table, well, oh dear you may say, as this is clearly one of those fake external horn gramophones that apparently originate in India. There are quite a lot of variations on these actually. I do actually have a bass unit from one of these previously, which I will compare to this one at some point. But this one is rather more complete. It's got the back bracket. It's got You know, the tone arm, it's got the sound box, this rather odd sound box that's marked his master's voice. Inside, in fact I should also mention that on the outside there is also a rather poor quality imitation His Master's Voice logo. Inside, slightly more interesting, there's actually a Garrard, I think it's a number 20 motor there, which is obviously out of an old portable, and I think probably the turntable might be off the same one, although actually I can see little bits of rust on it, so that might be a much later or a modern replacement. Certainly the controls, the speed indicator there and the brake are pitted with rust, which suggests strongly that they're just steel rather than being nickel-plated brass, which is probably what they would have been. This also came with the winding handle, so let's just put that in. That sounds pretty hopeful. Well, it almost certainly needs a good service, but speed control works, which is more than can be said for my other one, and yeah, the brake holds as well. So essentially a fully functional bass unit. The horn is one of these typical fake brass ones. It is actually broken. The joint there has broken, so that was obviously soft soldered on, so I'm going to need to re-solder that on there, and then it's going to be able to go up on the on top of the gramophone. So yes, so again, didn't cost a fortune, certainly cheaper than buying one on eBay, and hopefully, well, I should be able to get it running, and as I also have another one that's in a much less complete state, I thought it was worth picking this one up, because then at least I could see how the various pieces were put together and maybe sort out something for the other one as well. Now, as I promised, I saved the best till last, and this somewhat uninspiring little box is a real gem. And it's a real gem that I had never heard of. And if I open it up, you should be able to see there, it says Edison Bell Handyphone. And I've done some Googling on this, and although I found some reference to it, and indeed a couple of pictures, or in fact a short YouTube video of a similar machine, this machine does appear to be quite rare. Maybe even very rare. Now, the person I bought it off had clearly started to do a restoration on it. They did actually tell me they spent quite a bit of money nickel plating the parts, and there's a whole bunch of parts here. I'm not going to get them all out, but for instance, there's a tone arm there. And you might say, well, where does the tone arm go? And if I take the crank out, there's actually a piece of the case that folds down like that, and the tone arm fits on there. There's clearly a plate that fits in there as well. So I can get my hand out of the way, and the tone arm goes on like so, and I think it goes like so. and this is held up by some means I don't yet understand. But clearly, once you've finished playing it, you just sort of fold the tone arm away. It just folds down, tone arm disappears inside like so, and it's away. Now, you may have seen me pull the crank out. I guess that is the original crank. It certainly looks like it is. It's slotted as well, which is a feature I believe some early gramophones or phonographs had. I'm not sure whether it was an Edison feature or a Victor feature, and to be honest, I know there's some connection somehow between Edison Bell and Edison, but I would be speculating if I said I really understood the connection. Certainly Edison Bell is more known in the UK for Edison Bell Winner and Edison Bell radio records. So as I say, there's a whole pile of stuff. There is no sound box. Interestingly enough, this piece here is I think clearly the ring from the front of the sound box. So presumably it got dismantled and this was sent away for nickel plating, and then the rest of the sound box has been lost. But at least I've got an indication of what the sound box should have looked like, how big it was. I could probably even just build a sound box on the back of that. But I can also buy something or find something suitable. I do have a few sound boxes, and certainly sound boxes do appear on eBay almost daily, in fact probably daily. So what else have we got here? If I just push it back a little bit, open the front up. Oh yes, there's this metal strip here that clearly goes in like so, and you may be able to see inside if I lift it up. There's some bits of mechanism there, rusty metal, and then the horn I think is probably this bit here. This round piece of wood here, or curved piece of wood, is obviously hiding the motor, and again I've got no idea what state the motor's in. Now I can see that the mat for the turntable is in there as well, so the felt's been taken off, put underneath for safekeeping, and then the re-nickeled plat has been put back on top. So I have had a bash at putting this in the hole, but I can't say I've actually managed to find the motor to wind. So let's give it a go on camera. I mean, that might be it there. Really not sure, certainly not doing anything. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to do anything more with that, because I really don't know what state the motor is in. But what I'll be doing with all of these gramophones is actually doing like proper little videos on them. So I will take this one to pieces and actually see what state the motor's in and what sort of motor it's got, and get out all the bits from the bag and see how it fits together. I mean, fortunately there are some photos and a bit of video on the internet, so I've got a pretty good chance of getting it all back together again, and it's quite clear actually from the marks on the board where some of the bits fit. But clearly, as I got this one pretty much for a song, the previous owner, who had spent time and money starting to renovate it, obviously gave up, and there may be something really seriously wrong, like it might just have a completely stuffed motor, which is irreparable. But you know, I can get around that. It may not be original, but I'm sure I can get it playing records again. Actually, just before I go, I've had a brilliant idea. I can wind this. It does feel like it's winding, but it's not moving, and of course it won't move because the brake's on, and I haven't turned the brake off because I can't see where it is. But I just had a little look down this hole here, and I can see a little metal thing. I'm thinking, oh dear, is that something like a bit of spring or something? But it's something that I think needs to be pushed down by the brake, or maybe by the speed control. Maybe that's where the speed control goes. Yeah, no, actually, maybe it's not the brake. Maybe there's a brake there, and there's a speed control here, and the speed control is completely turned to effectively the slow position. So anyway, I'm going to just stick a little screwdriver down and push that piece of metal. Oh, and lo and behold, there is a working motor in there. Yeah. Well, that's a great find. I mean, obviously, I've no idea what state the spring's in and whether it will play a whole record or anything like that. But then, to be honest, I don't know that of the big brass horned one either. So anyway, that's really good. I will still obviously take it to pieces in another video, and we'll have a look and see what's inside. I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to keep that surprise for when I film that video. But anyway, that really is it for now. So thanks for watching, and if you have enjoyed this video, then please do subscribe to Mr. Archie Stuff. Thank you.